Alright, Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, double honesty, apostles of GMS. Salutations to all you brothers and your few sisters is out there. Alright, pretty much this is going to be the entitlements. It's a GMS news to report, but the entitlement is the death of the dollar. Because the dollar is pretty much, it's powered out. The stronghold that the American dollar has had upon this earth is being loose right now. Okay, and the article that I sent to brothers, and if you enter the news, you have seen it this morning. It says China launch of petro yen in 2 months sounds the death of nil for the dollar's dominance. Now, before I read this article, a brief history about how America got its power with the dollar. After World War II took place, okay, America had made a deal with Saudi Arabia for the oil, and that Slovakia, I'm wrong, that Great Britain had gave the power to America to police the world, and the U.S. had made a deal with Saudi Arabia to have the U.S. dollar through Britain, through the Yuan and all that, to be the actual international trade currency, okay? And it was backed up by gold. I mean, the black gold, oil, because America had lost its strength with gold and silver. So when the other nations picked up on it, France mainly and North Korea, that's why there was the first North Korean war, okay? Because they wanted to get out of that whole situation, that the American dollar was not backed up by anything. So they went to war, and we know the history about that. But France realized, like, look, America's not doing as well. That's why the EPA came about, the Environmental Protection Agency, which in reality is pretty much real estate that was given out to other nations as collateral for the lack of money that the American dollar had back then, the power it had. So they made a deal with Saudi Arabia to back their money with oil. So you had all these oil financials, mainly the Rockefellers, who had the oil industry on lockdown. So oil was a very important thing in the industry of cars and so forth. We know the history about that. But now, you fast forward to 2017, well, before 2017, Slovakia, that you had the BRIC nations, which was Brazil, Russia, China, India, and if I'm not mistaken, I think somewhere in South America as well. If I'm wrong, Slovakia. They had the idea back then to say we're not gonna deal with the U.S. currency no more as the trade, because what's taking place is the U.S. has power over these nations through those sanctions, okay, by not allowing them to use the U.S. dollar. But now China to find a way to say, forget that, we don't need you, okay? And those BRIC nations of Russia and China, they just dealing with themselves. They saying fuck the West and all that deals with this shit. So this is the strength of America dwindling right before our eyes. There's always something to talk about, and this is a very important subject because this shows war is going to take place. And it says, back to the article, it says China launch of petro yen in 2 months sounds death knell for the $4 dominance. One of the world's top energy importers, China, is set to rule out a yen-dominated oil contract as early as this year. Analysts called the plan, announced by Beijing in September, a huge move against the dollar global dominance. The so-called petroleum yen is a wake-up call for investors who haven't paid attention to China's plans, according to the head of Getro Assist Management Asia, Adam Levis, has quoted in Bloomberg. So this, once again, this is a plan that's been planned out. Things don't happen overnight. But the world has seen it, but they wasn't paying attention. There's another thing too you have to realize as well. That's the reason why America was doing its dominance and taking Afghanistan, Iraq, the rich oil countries, because they knew that Saudi Arabia only could be for so long. However, their agreement long was for it, because in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, gas is cheap, dirt cheap, pretty much practically less than $1. So they seen it, they knew it. The elite said, like, we have to have this. This is what had the whole world on hooked to petroleum oil, okay? Because your cars is being run by it, your houses being run by it, oil, gas. But there's now another source of energy, which is natural energy, but you don't need that. And it was a documentary I was watching. It said even what's his face, one of the Rockefellers, because the corn was another source of oil that could give you a car power, but they cut that shit down. Okay, he's trying to take over the oil industry, showing that this white man's a devil and he's all about his money. It says the analyst said the new contract would be able to serve as a hedge tool for Chinese corporations, as well as support of the government's border plans to extend the use of national currency and trade settlement. According to Levison, Chinese companies might grow into anchor investors in Saudi Arabia. Initially, public offering of its national oil giant Saudi Armac. So now even Saudi Arabia is getting involved, that which is America's greatest ally. All right. So there was an article a brother had put up that the elites has sold their shares, took all their money back from America because they knew something was gonna happen, because they already set everything up. But this is all prophecy. And it says, at the same time, some analysts are skeptical of China's ambition plan to create its own benchmark. And it says, game changers is not, at least not yet, but if another indicator of the beginning of the glaciation, and then emphasize the world's glacial decline of the dollar, said Gul Luftar, co-director of the Institute for Analysts of Global Security, as quoted by CNBC. The end of the dollar is emerging as been consistent message from Russia's President Vladimir Putin. Russia shares, this is Vladimir Putin, it says, Russia shares the BRICS countries' concern over the unfairness of global financial and economical architecture, which does not give due regard to growing weight of emerging economies. We are ready to work together with our partners to promote international financial regulatory reforms as to overcome the excessive domination of the eliminating number of reserves currency. So, and it says Putin said 2 months ago during BRICS summit in, I can't pronounce it, somewhere in China. So you have right then in your face, and there's another article on RT now with Max Kaiser, which is a good financial guy that breaks down everything to the T. And you know, I didn't read it yet, but I know he's gonna tear this shit apart, because that shows you right then and there America's losing its strength. It's losing its chokehold over the world. Now everybody, many years later, if you get something from China, oh, it's not good, blah blah blah, but everything comes from China. U.S. dollars, U.S.'s debt, majority of U.S. debt is owned by China. Okay, now they about to drop the dollar. This is a clear-cut sign of war is about to happen. Everything happens for a reason. People are slowly but for surely getting away from Babylon the Great, and they finally trying to build their own stuff up, have their own allies, and destroy America. That's why Trump is pushing the world to go into Iran. All of a sudden, Iran's that the arch enemy, the evil empire, magically, but it's really America that's doing it. Okay, first scripture I have is Zephaniah 1 and 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be a noise of a cry from the fish gate. Now, if you know anything about seaports and so forth, mainly the seaport, really, the real money maker is catching fish. So in the ancient world, they had fish gates where people could get X amount of gates of fishes that they can to make it easy for them. But the Lord saying it's going to be a cry at the fish gates. That means the flow of money there's gonna be a cry of it. Right now we in it seems like the economy, the U.S. economy seems to be all right. People are working and everything is going good. But a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, the U.S. passed its financial debt ceiling that it's supposed to, and they had to take out another extension, maybe for 3 months. For 3 months. So in December. Now, so happens October that we hearing news about China pretty much dropping the fucking dollar. Is this by accident? No. This financial crash is about to take place, man. Soon, a lot of us brothers are gonna be out of work, which should be a great thing for us. Okay? But when there's no work, this hell's gonna break loose. So there's a lot of things that's gonna take place in the near future. Okay? And it says, and howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. How ye inhabitants of Maktesh? For all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off. Now Maktesh, which we don't have to break it down, is the first idea of a stock market, first Wall Street in the ancient world, where everybody used to do trades, and they didn't trade fake numbers. They traded real living things, food, livestock, silver, gold, same thing. But the scripture clearly says how inhabitants of Maktesh. So Wall Street is going to crash. And this is a great form of Wall Street going to crash. Once China gets away from the dollar, dominance of the dollar, and saying we don't need your debt, what is the American investors, okay, is going to do? Because it's only one solution. Everything is leading onto the chip. The RFID microchip. Everything is leading onto it. Okay, you can't escape it. We live in a time where just to use a regular credit card, which is fake money or money that's being held captive by the bank, that you can't even use a regular card no more. Everything has a chip on it. So they're telling you something bad is about to happen financially in America. And this is one of the lead things. Also, this is another, that's why America is going to go to war with Venezuela as well. Because Venezuela is the largest oil industry, not industry, but country in this part of the world. And a couple months ago, Trump was talking about sending the military down there, not for no aiding the people that's been starving for X amount of years, for about a year or so, for the chaos that's been going on, the violence. No. It's really to take over that land. That's why once again they want to go to Iran, because they stuck on that fight. They stuck on that petroleum. They can't let it go, even though there's other sources of getting money. All right. So great financial problems is going to take place in the near future near us, where brothers don't even have to go to work no more. Okay. Since I had it on deck. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 1. Remember now the Creator in the days of thy youth. And right now, we living in a time where we supposed to live and eat, breathe the scriptures, man. We supposed to be one with the scriptures as the days of our youth. All right, because the bad times has not come yet. There's a little schisms here and there, a lot of rebuking right now. But the real bad times has not taken place yet. Jacob's trouble has not been fully in set. Okay? So right now we're supposed to remember and do the will of the Heavenly Father, man. And be comfortable enough. I hate to say it like that, but to be aware of His presence, man. Because when you're comfortable, you fall asleep. You can't fall asleep in this truth. You got to keep moving. Got to stay alive. And it says, "Well, the evil days come not, for nor the years draw near." So right now is the time for you to build your spiritual bank, man. Not worrying about going to a 9 to 5 and busting your ass for this company or that person and like they're gonna save you. You can't. No, you just do what you gotta do. Go and do what you gotta, get your money, and that's it. Because all this funny money is about to be thrown out the window. Okay? And it says, "When thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened." And that's talking about in little sense, in the spiritual sense. The wisdom and knowledge understanding of this wicked ass, filthy ass society is going to be darkened real soon. Okay? And then when the real darkness comes, it's going to be those too little too late when those ICBM missiles take place. When they destroy this goddamn place, man. And it says, "Nor the clouds return after the rain, and the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble." And it's who's the keepers of the house? The elites. Alright? The elites and the little fucking pit bulls that they have running the show, like a president or so far, a prime minister. Those are the elites' pets, man. They're gonna have. It's gonna be a day where they have no answers for anything. When the demons that they've been talking to is gonna completely shut their mouths, man. Ignore their ass. They don't give a fuck how many blood sacrifice that they do. This time is coming real soon. Alright? And it says, "And the strong man shall bow him down, and shall bow themselves, and the grinding cease, because there are few." And we living in a time where there's soon to be less jobs. Alright? But the financial crash that took place in 2008, where America has been in a recession ever since, this one is gonna be far worse. You have expert Edomites saying it's long overdue. Why did he say it was long overdue? Because they say basically they've been pushing bullshit money within the system and causing a hyperinflation, man. And this hyperinflation is about to catch up onto them. Alright? And it says, "And those that look out the windows be darkened." And there's going to be no future for this place. You see commercials, go to school, go to here, this and that. Soon these school systems is going to be shut down. Who's going to support that shit? Who's going to support people that's not seem to be, according to Trump's eyes, not worthy of getting any financial aid? That's what welfare is about to get cut which it got cut dramatically, but it's not being publicly broadcast. Okay, but a lot of people is gonna lose a lot of goodies in the system, man, as a leverage to get off this financial debt. Because like I said, it's over $20 trillion, and you add a couple natural disasters that just took place, you are beyond repair. So you have to alleviate that pressure. Easily could have say, okay, we're not gonna put much financial banking in the military, but they're not gonna do that. Okay, their main goal is to build up their military. That's what takes all of it. Or that welfare state called Israel. They're not gonna cut from that. They're gonna cut from the poor. And it says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all daughters of music shall be brought low. And that's why we're living in a time where everything just seems to be real unauthentic. Alright? Everything sounds garbage, it looks garbage, everything fake is out in the forefront. Why is that? Because we're living in a time where everything is brought down real low. So right now it's time to buckle up, because China dropping the petrodollar is a big hit to America, man. It's a huge hit to America. There's no comeback after this shit. Okay? And then you gotta worry about the debt. You gotta worry about the only thing left for them to do is to bring in that RFID microchip. Alright? That's why they want to get rid of all the guns as soon as possible. Put up these false flags, people getting shot, so forth. So that way they put the fear in the people. They could take the gun so they could roll up in the average citizen and put them to death or put them in a concentration camp. They have to make do for all the things that they lost. All right. So with that being said, I hope you brothers edified. It was a quick one, Lord willing. Hey, just keep your eyes. There's a lot of great news just taking about. All right. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. We almost out of here. Shalom.